Hello, okay. Hell or High Water, directed by David Mackenzie and starring Chris Pine, Jeff Bridges, and Ben Foster. And I didn't really know about this film until a couple of weeks ago. I seen a trailer in front of something else. I can't quite remember what it was. And it's also written by Taylor Sheridan, who also wrote Sicario, one of my favorite films from last year. For me, this was like a modern version of a western. So you have your two brothers, and they were like the bandits, you could say, played by Chris Pine and Ben Foster. They delivered really good performances in this. Ben Foster blew me away because I'm not a massive fan of him. And but he really transformed into this character in this film. Same goes for Chris Pine. I've really enjoyed Chris Pine in a lot of the stuff that I've seen him in, like the Star Trek movies. I love him as Captain Kirk in Star Trek. But in this, I feel he really does shine. He delivers this very emotionally subdued performance, and it's all in the eyes with him throughout the film. And he delivers a really good, solid performance. Same going for Ben Foster. And Ben Foster comes across as this very broken character. A character that's got a lot of issues and problems with the world. He's against the world. And obviously you find those reasons out in the film, because the trailer doesn't really say too much, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining about that. But this film was was about a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. It was much deeper. And as a result, this film was it became a lot more emotional as well. And that's also mainly down to the fact that this film focuses so much on these characters. I mean, this is like a character study more than anything else. The trailers make it come across as a western sort of heist kind of movie where they go around robbing banks, but there's a lot more to it. And as the plot was unraveling, the story was going on, I had this gradual smile appear throughout the film, because you then become to understand why these two brothers are doing what they are doing, and that sort of added in the emotional impact to the film. But it also became more relatable, as in it kind of reflects the current times. Like, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, I fancy it did. This movie was very relatable to the current sort of times. But also the emotional impact is also helped by having such incredible performances from Chris Pine and Ben Foster. Ben Foster did such an incredible job to convey this character and his issues and his problems, and he did such a good job in conveying that on the screen. I mean, like I said previously, it was almost as if Ben Foster wasn't there. It was someone else, and that is what a good actor is. Saying that, I haven't been a massive fan of him in previous works, in previous films, but in this, he blew me away. But we also have great performances from the almighty Jeff Bridges. Again, I mean, he was amazing in this, and he plays this Texas Ranger who's coming close to retirement, so he's kind of looking for, he keeps looking towards his future and how he wants to go, how he wants to leave what he's done in the, with his past, and how he wants to go on, and he kind of wants to go out with all guns blazing in a way. And he's got his partner who's played by Gil Birmingham. I think he was in one of the Twilight films, but he also again delivers a very good, solid performance as his partner. But while you're following these two sheriffs hunt down the two brothers, you've got this sort of they have this banter between each other, and it's quite funny. It is quite amusing, and it gives a little bit of humour to the film. Because I think this could have been, this is a very sort of drab film. I mean, it's a very gloomy sort of film, as in it's got a gloomy outlook. Yeah, the humour sort of uplifts the film a little bit. But it was nice to see this banter between the two, because it was quite amusing. And there was also this scene in a cafe which involves the two sheriffs and a waitress, and it was quite funny. I actually laughed out loud, not just myself, but there were quite a few other people in the room as well. I laughed. But it was that sort of chemistry and that sort of relationship that they created with the characters between the two sheriffs and the two brothers that really helped add that emotional impact to the film. But also, it's all down to the very, very tight writing. The tight script And this film is very well written, and the cinematography in this film is really, really nice. It's a very beautiful looking film as well, and very well directed by David Mackenzie. I haven't actually seen any of David Mackenzie's previous works, as far as I know from the top of my head. But there are not many cuts, as in when this film was edited, there wasn't many cuts. So it has this sort of very sort of slow, gradual, sort of build-in tension, you could say, throughout the film. But it also fleshes out a lot of those character moments as well. There are moments, this film takes its time to study these characters and just observe them. And I like that. I mean, and it didn't really, and it practically sacrificed a lot of what could have been, there could have been a lot of gunfights in this film. A lot more than what's actually in it. But they didn't. They sacrificed that, and instead they focused more on these characters. And going back to the editing, there's this moment at the beginning of the film where it's just one shot basically, and the shot kind of just goes. You follow this shot around. It takes in all the sort of scenery and where you are. And I like those sort of shots, and there's a lot of those kind of moments in the film where it's just one continuous shot, flowing scene. And I fancy it's those sort of shots that really sort of immerses you into the film. It's like that opening shot of the film where you just got that one take and you just follow it around, and it's taking in all of the scenery you're finding out where you are, you're seeing where you actually are. And I fancy that really does immerse you straight into the film, and I like those moments. Yeah, I really did enjoy this film. It has, there are emotional moments in it. It did really pull the heartstrings in the climax, mainly. Cinematography is beautiful. The performances are incredible. This is a very well made film, and it's hard to really to find a fault with it. My only real gripe with it is it's probably something that you wouldn't want to go and see again and again and again. Not in the cinema anyway. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get this on Blu-ray, but it doesn't have that sort of replayability sort of factor about it. But that does not mean it's not a good film. It's just, for me anyway, it's not something you could you could go back to again and again and again. But maybe just revisit once every so often. Maybe the trailers did a really, really good job at hiding the true sort of depth to this film, and the true meaning of this film, and I like that. I mean, this film is a lot more than what the trailers make it out to be. I would be giving Hell or High Water an A. Thank you again for watching. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe, and please feel free to leave a comment below, and I will be seeing you guys with my next review, and that is the very late review actually of Finding Dory. Thank you again for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon.